That morning, a blanket of gray clouds covered the London sky. In front of Buckingham Palace, the usual crowd had already gathered. Cameras, smartphones, tourists held them ready in their hands, just like every day. People were laughing, chatting, and some were holding their breath, waiting to witness the iconic scene unfold live. The cobblestones were slightly damp, probably from a light rain overnight. But nothing could disrupt the Royal Guard's daily routine. For them, neither the weather nor the noise of the crowd mattered. Their discipline was world-class. Among the guards, one stood out with his sharp posture. His name was James Blackthorn. He had been in service for 7 years, had completed 3 tours in Afghanistan, and had proven his composure on the battlefield many times over. Now, he stood at his post in front of the palace, like an unshakable statue. His hands gripped the barrel of his rifle, his gaze fixed straight ahead. Neither the crowd's laughter nor the flashing cameras made him flinch, but within the crowd, there was one man who didn't belong. His behavior was off. He wore a worn-out jacket, and in his hand, he clutched an old wooden stick. His eyes were bloodshot, his hands trembling. The stench of alcohol was strong, even from a distance. At first, no one took him seriously, just another drunk tourist, maybe someone who had lost his way. The man started approaching, laughing loudly. A few people began recording him with their phones. "Watch this, you're gonna love this," he shouted, loud enough to echo across the square. Some tourists looked on in surprise, while others kept laughing, thinking it was all part of the show. But Blackthorn's gaze never shifted. Neither the drunken shouts nor the raised stick rattled his composure. It was as if he had rehearsed this moment thousands of times in training. He simply waited, patient, calm. The man, however, was losing control fast. He took a few more steps closer, and a ripple of concern swept through the crowd. People were starting to realize this was no joke. Raising the stick high above his head, he swung it toward the Royal Guard with all his strength. In that instant, time seemed to slow. Some tourists stepped back in fear, others froze, holding their breath. A few phones stayed locked on the scene, capturing every detail. But just as the stick was about to strike Blackthorn, his training and instincts kicked in. Blackthorn swiftly stepped back with his left foot, shifted his body slightly, and expertly deflected the attack. The man lost his balance, stumbling forward. With precision, Blackthorn swung the butt of his rifle toward the man's wrist. The stick clattered to the stone pavement with a sharp crack. The crowd collectively gasped, but Blackthorn didn't stop there. The attacker was still a threat. In one fluid motion, he grabbed the man's twisted arm and forced him down. The man cried out in pain, finally giving up his resistance. Within seconds, two security officers burst through the crowd and took control of the situation. The tourists slowly began to breathe again. Some, still recording, couldn't hide their shock. Videos of the incident spread across social media like wildfire. Guard takes down attacker at Buckingham Palace. Flooded feeds, racking up thousands of views within minutes. In that moment, the world was reminded once again that the Royal Guards are far more than ceremonial figures. Through their discipline, composure, and quick response, they proved themselves as the true protectors of the nation. Where in the world are you watching this incredible moment from? Share with us in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss tomorrow's gripping Royal Guard stories. At the same time, the training of the Royal Guards makes them much more than just ceremonial figures. They are, in every sense, a shield for the nation. This incident proved once again just how powerful their discipline and courage truly are. Now we ask you, if you were in Guard Blackthorn's position, how would you have reacted? Share your thoughts with us in the comments below. And make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on more unforgettable stories like this one.